Alright guys, it's Duck from 3A Productions and I'm back with another video, and today we're talking about Spider-Man. Well, if you haven't heard, Sony have taken their rights for Spider-Man away from Disney, as it looks like Spider-Man is exiting the MCU. You're probably wondering why is this all happening? Well, apparently according to multiple reports, IGN, BBC, Sky News, they're all reporting that there was some kind of dispute over the financial information and all the financial rights and who should be getting what, according to Disney and Sony, both having differing opinions obviously. Originally, the deal was 100% of the box office money would go to Sony, and then Disney would make their money off the comic book and the merchandise and all the toys sales and stuff like that. And obviously, Disney saw how well Spider-Man Far From Home done at the box office, wanted more of that money, and then they said make a 50-50 split and we got a deal. But obviously Sony said no, they wouldn't change their stance, wanted to keep the same deal in place, and obviously Kevin Feige didn't agree with that, pulled the plug and said Spider-Man can go free from the MCU. It's interesting as Tom Holland has got a couple movies left on his deal that he signed with Sony, so it'll be interesting to see if he carries on or they just completely reboot the character. I don't think they will completely reboot it because there's no point. After you reboot it a certain amount of times, the character's wasted, as we've seen with the Fantastic Four. But I think the MCU got the Fantastic Four in the right hands and they're going to carry out properly. But in other terms, going back to Spider-Man, it's a sticky situation really, because laid such good foundations for the film, made it right, intertwined it with so many other different characters, as we've seen in Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, all these crossover films, and him not being in future ones. So it's disappointing, definitely coming from a Marvel fan. And it's interesting because as we saw in the Phase 4 slot, there wasn't a third Spider-Man film confirmed. So as we had seen, there were 3 films confirmed. You know how they have 3 films every odd year. There's 3 films already confirmed for 2021, and it was in their original deals, Sony and Disney, that Spider-Man films will be released every 2 years, I believe it was. And in that 2021 year, there were 3 films already slated in, which were Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange 2, the title I can't remember, sorry, and the final one was Shang-Chi. So no Spider-Man film slated in, so that was also very interesting. Maybe they were already negotiating this for a long time, but I think actually seeing how well Spider-Man did at the box office made Kevin Feige want more of the pie, want some of the money from the box office, because it's pointless really going through all the effort to make the film and simply not really getting the rewards you deserve. I think that's what he's thinking. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Tom Holland and Spider-Man now, because he won't be in the MCU as of yet, and unless any more information comes out of the next few months or years, not years but few months, you know what I mean, whether they can strike a deal, which I think is very likely. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in his third film, whether that's a crossover with Venom and Carnage and other characters like that, whether they do finally complete a Sinister Six film. Be interesting to see. And a lot of people have been disappointed, a lot of fans, and they're calling for petitions online, a lot of petitions, people signing that to bring Spider-Man back to the MCU. A lot of big actors, Jeremy Renner, Ryan Reynolds, responding to the news of Spider-Man leaving the MCU. Tom Holland as well would be very disappointed, missing out on a lot of films, a lot of big crossover events, which would have brought in a lot of money for him. But not just that, I think for the fans as well, missed out on a lot of different character interactions, Deadpool and Spider-Man, maybe even the future X-Men or Fantastic Four with Spider-Man. And also, it's a lot of people have been talking, if Spider-Man is released under Sony, that a lot of people would boycott it simply because they want Spider-Man to go back to Kevin Feige and enter the MCU. According to reports from previous years that I'd seen, a lot of people talked about a 60-40 split in favor of Sony, so again 60-40 to Marvel. But apparently new reports saying that 100% of that box office money went to Sony, which I see is very unfair, because Marvel is simply building Spider-Man from the ground up, since 2 previous films are kind of failures really. Spider-Man trilogy wasn't really a failure, but just the other 2 films really just didn't work out. And now it's like really in a good spot with a lot of crossovers, a lot of different characters from the MCU can interact, and a lot of crossover events such as Infinity War and Endgame doing so well because of building up little solo films and characters like Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, etc. And it'd be interesting to see what happens with Sony and what they do. And they've only got a limited amount of options in my opinion, because you can only get Venom against Spider-Man or Carnage against Spider-Man, and I don't think it'll be as energetic or as fun as in the MCU, because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe you have a lot more people you can interact with, a lot more storylines to go along with as well. And I simply think they're just a better team in terms of writing and directing, and have a better idea what they want to do with Spider-Man. Simply now as Sony got their hands on him, they're going to try and rush and make a film. So I'll be a bit worried, but you never know, they could pull something out the bag like they did with Venom. So we'll have to wait and see. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later. It's been Duck, and I'm out.